Hi, and welcome to Q Live here at the 41st Annual Q Conference in Palm Springs, California. I'm Christina Mattis, and with me today is Adam Juarez. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks for having me.
Really good to have you here today. I heard you had an amazing, incredible road trip down here.
Yeah, we did. We drove and flew at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, when the wife drives, we tend to get there faster, and somehow she has like the magic touch where there's no traffic on the 210 when she drives. So when I drive, I'm stuck for 6 hours.
Well, so glad to have you here. And you do incredible work when it comes to student-centered learning environments. How do you make that happen? How do your students take part in that? How do you engage your families?
Well, it's the student-centered learning environments is like it's a passion of mine, and he was just on here a second ago. John used to always talk about cemetery-style seating, and I heard him say that years ago, and it stuck with me. I'm like, I need to change everything. Just having those rows and stuff just drove me nuts, and I was never able to ever have my classroom that way. So I'm trying to think like a kid. Start with empathy here. If I'm a student, what's the kind of room that I want to be in? I want kids to walk in and say, this doesn't feel like school. I'm continuing, always just iterating. It changes like from day to day. Kids will walk in, oh, it's different now. But being here at Q, I've made a lot of connections that have helped me build my learning space, which is now my Google Innovator project,
right.
The Cardinal Innovation Center, and whiteboard walls. Those were donated thanks to the homie Ed Campos. But just trying to do it on the cheap. You don't have to go off and spend thousands of dollars. I'm in thrift stores. I'm just DIY everything. So it's just like I could talk all day about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what role do students play in that empathy? How do you engage their voice to help design that learning environment that really meets their needs?
I'm just constantly having conversations with them. The better I know the kids, the better I know what they want, what they need. So it all boils down to relationships and really caring about being aware of what they know, what they like.
Mm-hmm. And what do they like these days?
Oh man, that could be dangerous. But they really appreciate the flexibility of my learning space. Ed and I a couple years ago decided we don't want to spend $400 on one desk that has wheels on it. It's adjustable. We figured out we could put casters on it, and the kids love. Whatever they need, it just moves around. The classroom it morphs just from period to period.
And have you noticed a shift in how then students learn, improvement in behavior, changes in outcomes, learning outcomes?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, going back to the way it morphs, you can really see the personality in the kid about the way they're sitting in class. So I have I inherited a couch, popped that in there. I went to the thrift store, got for $15, I found an old coffee table. I took some of the desks and I lowered them all the way down to like kindergarten size and put exercise balls there for them to sit on. Some kids will just, I have raised desks with stools, which I use with the money I earned from Leroy Finkel 2 years ago. So those stools, some kids will take, the stool becomes their desk and they sit on the ball. You'll see some kids who just want to sit on the floor. Some kids who want to sit on the couch and put their Chromebook on the coffee table. Some just want a regular desk and chair. And you see the personalities in them just come out just in the way they sit and how they position themselves to try and do all their work.
Right, exactly. We're trying to have that coffee shop feel,
yeah,
and really think about if we can't work well sitting in a desk for 5-6 hours straight, how can our students do that, and how can we expect them to do that?
Yeah, one of the recent things I did, I have a nice good size window, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put a table right there by the window, and it's facing the window, and they have the stools right there, and the kids walked in, they looked at it, and now there's a group of kids in every class that gravitate right to it. That's their spot, that's their domain,
yeah.
And they feel like they're at Starbucks, and they're looking out the window while they're working.
There you go. How do families react to your type of setup in your classroom?
They're usually it's shock because a lot of parents they're not used to seeing that, and they wonder, and they ask a lot of questions, and usually it's pretty positive response, but it's definitely something that learning space I've designed. Our school uses it to engage with the families and communities. That's one of the first things they show off.
And have you started to notice a trend in shifting of the mindset for families in your community?
It's slower than I'd like, but yes, it's moving in the right direction.
That's good. That's great. How did you become interested in student-centered learning environments?
You know what? I couldn't even tell you how it started. It was just my first classroom I was given. I just started tinkering with it, and like how I didn't want rows. I wanted it to be different, and it just every day it just changes. And I don't know if it's just how I am. I can't. I'm changing it up all the time.
Yeah, that's great. Tell me about your CV Tech Talk.
CV Tech Talk was born. It's going to be our third year coming. A couple years ago, my now wife, Catherine, we were meeting professionally. This is before we took it to a new level. We were talking about it. Two things. We want to start a conference for people in the Central Valley and a Twitter chat, because in the Central Valley, California, there's some amazing educators. Amazing, but it's like we're all off in these islands out there. It's very rural, and great things are happening, but nobody knows about it. So we wanted CV Tech Talk to be the Twitter chat for the Valley. So use the hashtag, share what you're doing. We're there every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Rain or shine. We're talking ed tech and having a great time doing it. But it's allowed us to really grow our PLN and really showcase all the awesome things happening in the Central Valley.
Yeah, and that's a really great way to leverage technology to share stories.
Yeah.
And really broaden the scope of who you reach. That's really impressive.
Yeah, as far as broadening the scope, I mean, we have our local regulars, but CV stands for Central Valley, but we have people from all over the world join in, and I share that story that when you're on CV Tech Talk, you're going to get feedback from people across the world, not just the Valley, and that really it really boosted our numbers.
Where can somebody find CV Tech Talk?
We are everywhere. First and foremost, it starts on Twitter. The hashtag CV Tech Talk. We have a Facebook group. We have a Google Plus community. We have a Voxer group. We have a website, cvtechtalk.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story here with us today on Q Live at the Q Conference here in Palm Springs, California. Really looking forward to hearing more about all the great work that you're doing in your classrooms with your students. I'm Christina Mattis, and with me today is Adam Juarez. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, see you soon. Thanks. All right.